This is like my third time recording this, so I'm actually really hoping that it goes well this time. But this is my sketchbook. This is my most visually interesting sketchbook, in my honest opinion, and I am here to share it with you. And I finally finished it, and it's probably the first time I finished a sketchbook since high school, and I know that because I started this sketchbook in high school, my senior year of high school. So a lot of the art in this is a bit old, but there's some more recent stuff in the back. This was technically started in 2014, but I marked down 2015 because that was the year I graduated. So technically not the year I started this, but you know, it was what it is. And we're gonna start off strong with a book report project on Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I adore Harry Potter. I have not read Harry Potter in a very long time, and it had been a very long time since I'd read it when I did this book report project. So all of the drawings in this are very bad, but it was one of the options, like, you know, you can make a comic of the book, and so that's what I did, because I wanted to make comics, so I thought I was like, that's really easy, I can do that, I can hack that, and I did, and I got a 100, and here's a little life hack for any of you guys that are still in high school or whatever. If you are given a project and one of the options is to make a drawing or make a comic or something, and you're an artist, pick that one. Because good art is associated with a lot of effort, so it's easier to get a higher passing grade if you do that. Like this wasn't even really based off of the book. This was based off of what I remember from the movie, but it didn't matter because I drew it. So, how to cheat at school, kids. There you go. There's a little life hack for you. Also, just a little fair warning, as soon as people find out that you can draw in school, every time there is a project that requires drawing, you will become the most popular person in the room, even if those people never talk to you. So, FYI, just tread lightly. This is a profile. It's not a good profile. I think I wanted to draw curls. I'm not really sure. It took me a while to figure out how to hack the profile. Didn't get it. Didn't understand head to body size ratios in the profile. So, there's a lot of profiles in here that look like this. So, fair warning. This semi-realism style shows up quite a bit, because I was in a class with a really annoying anime fan, and I didn't want him to know that I drew anime stuff, because I didn't want to talk to him. He really annoyed me. I actually made a whole video about him. It has since been privatized because I was tired of people calling me an asshole for not liking this person, but I mean, I'm entitled to not like a person. I'm sorry, but he was annoying and I hated him. I'm sorry. But yeah, so I drew in this semi-realism style a lot. And I actually kind of like how this kind of came together. I don't think it's good art, but I do like, I made a conscious effort to try and like make their face shapes how I actually think they would look, like as real people. So Pearl is very like long and slender, and Garnet has like a very square, angular face, and Amethyst is a bit more round-faced. And she kind of looks like, I had an old music teacher in middle school, and she kind of like, her face kind of looks similar to that. So I really like this because she was like one of my favorite teachers, so it just kind of reminds me of her every time I look at it. Even though no one else sees it, I see it, so there's that. This was my friend, Jessica. We had the same English class together, and we were pretty much inseparable for that entire class, so that was nice. The art is bad, but I enjoyed her presence. This was a girl that I rode the bus with. Fun fact, I rode the bus all throughout high school because I didn't have a car or a driver's license, and I didn't have any desire to get it either. So she sat across from me on the bus, and I doodled her one day because I was the last stop, so I was always on the bus for like an hour. And yeah, she was pretty, really pretty Hispanic girl, and she was a couple years younger than me, and we wouldn't have been friends because I think we just have blaring personality differences. Like, she just, in general, I feel like we wouldn't get along, but she was very pretty, so I drew her. This is some Over the Garden Wall fan art, because Over the Garden Wall is, and always will be, my obsession. It is my favorite cartoon miniseries of the modern cartoon era. I like a lot of this. I mean, I know that anatomically it doesn't work, but I mean, I like how Beatrice looks, especially considering that was like the first time I've ever drawn like a realistic looking bird. I mean, I think it's not perfect, but I think it's better than it could be. And I like Wirt's face shape a lot. I think that it's very suiting to his character, and Greg is cute. Greg's my little boy. He's my boy. I want to protect him at all costs. If I one day have a son that's like half as interesting as Greg, it's gonna be a good day. This is an anime, and we're back to that good anime shit. This was a bad art day. I know that for sure. Unfortunately, it was pretty on par with what my art looked like back then, but it was a bad art day, and I know that. And I drew that in class. So, here's that. This was a doodle based off of Dean Winchester from Supernatural, because, hi, I'm a huge Supernatural fan. Fun fact, when I was at Queen City Anime Con, apparently there was a Supernatural convention going on at the main convention center. But I guess that the actor that plays Lucifer was staying in the hotel that my convention was in. So, yeah, the convention coordinator actually got to meet him, so I was pretty jealous. My parents were like thinking about getting tickets or something to the convention, and they were like looking, they were like, maybe we can get her tickets to a Supernatural con for her, for Christmas, and then they were looking at it and they're like, yeah, that's $900, so we're not doing that. So, I'll just watch them on the TV show, and it's good enough for me. This was a drawing of my friend Jamie, and this was a doodle of my friend Marissa. I don't talk to either of these people anymore. I doodled it in music theory, though. She was brushing her hair. I remember that. If that doesn't tell you how interesting music theory was for me. I think that secretly she's hated me for, like, ever, because, I didn't really give a shit about music theory class, and she really wanted it, and, I ended up scoring higher than her on our final, so I think she's always been kind of, like, mad at me for that, but, we don't talk, so it's her deal, whatever. Here's some floofy hair. I don't know why. This is a character that she has a very cute design. I would change some things if I were to do this now, but I do think her design is cute, and I don't have a purpose for her, so she will never be used. I do think she's cute, but she's a nothing character. She's blech, nothing. This is an old drawing of my character Nagisa. I have since changed her design. I thought that her bun hair was very boring, and overall it was just a very boring character design, so she's been changed. It's a little mermaid baby. More Nagisa. Again, more bad profiles, because I didn't get it. Didn't make sense. It was a mystery to me. You know, call the fucking Mystery Incorporated, because we got a mystery on our hands on how the fuck profiles worked. Here's more. This is about the time that I was probably watching Frozen a lot. I like Frozen. I know a lot of people don't like it, and they think that it has some very blaring problems, but I actually enjoyed it. So, yeah, I don't really have anything to say about that. In general, I think it was a good movie. I think it was funny, and I think also it was hashtag relatable. Here's more, Nagisa. Again, didn't know how profiles worked. This sketchbook is totally wasted on me. Like, these sketchbooks are designed for you to draw on both pages, and since I'm a pencil sketcher, I usually only draw on one side because it smudges on the other, so, this sketchbook was totally wasted on me. I'm sorry. This was probably the second drawing that I've ever done of Mocha. This is Mocha right here. And I can't remember who these girls were. I had like a story idea thing, but obviously, since I don't even remember who these two girls are, the story was not that interesting. I kept Mocha. I draw Mocha from time to time. She has a story. She has, yeah, she has a story, so I kept her and I changed her design a bit and she looks better now, but yeah. This was probably from when I was testing out my markers that I've had since my childhood, seeing which ones worked and which ones didn't. This one worked and I liked the color, so I doodled some Steven Universe stuff. So we have Rose and Steven and Garnet, Amethyst Pearl, older Steven, another Rose Quartz, because Rose is my favorite character from Steven Universe. I have cosplayed her like twice. Yeah. I don't really particularly care for Pink Diamond's design. design. Jeez. Just throw the whole brain away. I don't really like her design. I think that she kind of just looks like a circus clown, and that's not really my aesthetic. I know a lot of people think she's really cute, and that's great, but I much prefer Rose Quartz design. She's just more princessy and elegant and whatnot. Here's convention notes for conventions that I didn't get into. Whatever year this was. This is a section of the book that's dedicated to clothing ideas and magazine clippings for character inspiration. I like those. They wouldn't look like that on me because I'm a pale ass bitch, so you wouldn't even be able to see the spiderwebs, but I do like those, and I really like that, and I would 100% have that because it would do my spooky goth heart some good. I've drawn my OC Allison Bard wearing like boots inspired by this, and I've drawn her in like a outfit thing based on that. Her story is kind of like a futuristic sci-fi steampunk thing, so a lot of inspiration came from that stuff, and yeah, she's a really cool character, and I want to draw her more and work on her story. I've been thinking about it a little bit lately, but there's some major things that I want to change about it. Here's another list of convention stuff, not important, irrelevant. More clothing stuff. And more clothing stuff, and a blank page that's covered in smudges that I don't exactly know where they came from, but that's fun. This is a doodle of Rena's back tattoo. Yeah, that's it. I just wanted to kind of, because I was doing like a drawing of her, and I wanted to have what her back tattoo looks like. And she has, all of her tattoos have to do with doves, and so yeah, dove. This is a thing that I did last night to basically fill up this waste of a page. Just kind of like some notes for a character you'll see later. This is Rosalie, one of my characters. This is my other character, L'Ariel, and her eyes make her look really creepy. She's actually not very creepy, but her eyes make her look that way in this drawing. I don't know if the text still applies to her story or not, but whatever. And that's just ignore that. That's bad. This is a doodle of Rena and Shinichi. Yeah, I don't really want to talk about them a lot. And here's more Rena stuff. A lot of people say she looks like Nana, which is understandable, but not really the point. I don't really know how to fix that because her hair is like kind of a important part of her whole deal, but I think I'll probably make her hair like a little bit longer or something, because I have another character that has really short hair. Actually, I have several characters that have really short hair, and I just kind of want to change that up a little bit. I don't know. I don't know who she is. At the time, I thought the hand was really good, but looking back at it, you know, at least 3 years later, I'm like, nope, definitely not. This was done with India ink and a dip pen. The profiles were getting better, but it still wasn't very good. This is probably one of my favorite drawings in here. It's not my favorite, but it's one of my favorites for sure. Actually, probably I like all of the ones that are colored. I think this paper takes marker quite well, Copic marker. So I do like how it works for that, especially because this paper is clearly not made for wet mediums. But I think that marker worked very well on it. And there's a few little petals on here that are actually stickers because I was a dumbass and I inked her and then thought about a background, and I was like, I'm gonna put some cherry blossoms in it, and then yeah, I was like, well, I don't want all the cherry blossoms to be behind her, that's dumb, so I was like, I gotta put some in front of her, but I didn't have a way to hack that, so I just made stickers and put them on. And I don't know if you can actually tell, I've scanned this is featured in my art book, but I don't know if you can actually tell that they're stickers or if they look like they belong. I'm not really sure, but whatever. It's a fun little thing. This is more Rena backstory stuff. It's not really important. This is a character of mine that I really enjoy because she's pretty and she has a very warranted hatred of men. Not saying that hating men is a good thing, but it does give her a more interesting dynamic and makes her character development probably more fun. I don't use this character very much or for anything because her story is kind of on the back burner, and I don't know, I might change some things about the story and she may not even be included. I don't know, but I do like her, and I really like this face. I like how this face came out. It's just, I'm very proud of this face, and I liked my style at the time. I think my style was really nice back then. It's, I don't know, probably not as nice now, but whatever. There's a little doodle of Rina and Shinichi. It's bad, but it is what it is. Here's more of my little man-hater. She's so pretty. Very pretty. Anyways, here's backstory as to kind of why she hates men, but I'm not gonna get into that. Because, yeah, who cares? This is probably, like, my favorite drawing in here. These are my characters, Luca and Ren. I'll probably be changing his name. I'm not actually sure. I don't know for sure. The setting of the story kind of changed a bit. I'll probably keep her name Luca because I think it's a cute name and I think it fits her. But I like the whole, like, the movement and the dynamic between these two characters. They're siblings, so I really like it, and I think that it just kind of works, and it's cute, and it's pretty, and it's bright and colorful, and I like it. And this is also featured in my art book, so buy my art book. Here is some random doodles, a comic thing about some really old characters of mine. It's not very good. This was a tutorial that I did for Instagram about how to color mermaid tails with colored pencil. This video got over 6,000 views on it, so thank you guys for that. It was the most any of my stuff has ever been viewed by anybody, ever. And then I went through a few days ago and I doodled this because this was just like just a giant waste of space, and I wanted to make it look like I wasn't wasting space, so I drew that in a little fishy blob. Yep. Oh god, this is story notes, not relevant anymore. This is probably an Inktober drawing. It was probably the year when all the Inktober things had to do with witches or something. I don't know. I was following witch prompts. I didn't do very many of these, obviously. I think I did like 2. But I like her design. I don't really have a use for this character, but I do like her design. So I might find a place for her someday. Same with her. Her hat was based off of another one of my Witch OC's hats. But I think the theme for this day was like hipster witch. So, hipster witch. And this was more just, I wanted to use screen tones, so that's what I did. Some of the screen tones have come off because the adhesive on the screen tones, it was very old and just falling off, so yeah, that's that. Not a lot to say about that. Here's some Sailor Moon stuff. I like the coloring on this. I don't particularly care for, like, the drawing of her, but I like the coloring and composition. I think it worked fine. This is a doodle from when I was redesigning Goo, my slime girl. So I actually have like a digital version of this on a digital version. Good God, I'm a digital virgin. A digital version of this on my computer. That's posted on my Twitter. This is Black Rock Shooter. Obviously, Black Rock Shooter was one of the first anime movies that I watched, so I wanted to draw her. And I really like how the flame came out. I think it looks nice. Overall, I do like this. I mean, I think the background, when you get about here, gets a little bit janky, but I mean, overall, I think it's quite good. This is my rough concept sketch for my Dead Master drawing. And this was a rough concept sketch for a mommy drawing that I never did. Probably won't do either. And this is the final piece of the Dead Master drawing. I would add more contrast to some of the shading if I were to do this now, but I mean, especially for the time, I think it's really good, and I really like it. I enjoy it. Yeah, so there's that. This is based off of a dream I had. Don't ask me to explain it because it wouldn't make sense, and it made complete sense to me until I tried to explain to someone, and then I was like, no, that's dumb, I don't understand that, so. But I doodled that. This was a bad art day, I know that for sure, because I think this was the only thing I drew that day, and it looks like poop. This was inspired by XXXholic by Clamp. I wanted to work with the inking techniques, because the artist that does that does the art, or like the inking or whatever, for XXX Holic. They're very like ink heavy artists. They don't use a lot of screen tones, and at the time I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do for my mangas and stuff, because I don't consider myself very gifted at using screen tones, and I was just kind of like wondering if maybe I would be able to just do like really heavy inking and just do very little screen tones or whatnot here and there, and so that was just kind of like the inspiration for this. Yeah, so that was that. This is just a doodle of my OC blank. Yep, that's it. This is censored. There's nothing under this, that you can't see anything, but it looks suggestive and lewd, so I covered it, I guess. But, I mean, the way that she works, she's a slime girl, so she doesn't really have, like, any of that stuff. But, I covered it anyways. This was from, like, an old Ask thing that I got on my Ask account on Instagram. I don't know if I will be using all of these characters in the final story. At the moment, I don't really have a very definitive place for Lena, so I might just make her a background character or something. I'm not entirely sure. That might change as I, like, develop characters or roles or whatnot, but I like her character. I think she's really cute, and she's, like, a precious little bean, but I don't know what to do with her exactly, so yeah, I don't know what I want to do, so I'll figure that all out later, I guess. This is Batman, if you can tell. I took my Prismacolor markers somewhere, and I was like, I gotta use these up, because, you know, I don't like Prismacolor markers, but I have them, so why not? So I did something simple, and I did this. You can buy prints of this. Most people don't, but you have the option. Here's a wasted page, because it bled through, and I didn't want to draw anything on it. This is probably going to be Deadpool, but I gave up halfway through, so it's gonna stay like this forever. This was done in 2017, so this was probably like the following Inktober. I think it was the following Inktober, because I was like, this is gonna be my only contribution for Inktober this year. I think this was probably the time where all like that digital mess came about. Yeah, I think this was, where everyone, where like the creator of Inktober was like, digital artists can't do Inktober and call it Inktober, because the point of Inktober is doing it traditionally, and I'm just kind of like, you're an ass, dude. But, whatever. I think that you can do digital Inktober. Digital Inktober is fine, because digital art is just as hard as traditional art, and especially when it comes to, like, inking and stuff, it's, like, the same. It's just the only thing that's different is that you can correct your mistakes with digital, and it's a bit more difficult to correct your mistakes traditionally. You can do it, but it is more difficult. That's the only difference that I see. But, yeah. So this is my character, Reiko, and, I like her outfit. I like the design. I've done some updated versions, like inked versions, so you can see what she looks like now and how I ink things now. That's posted on my Twitter. You can check that out. But I just like Reiko. I think she's pretty and she has a fun aesthetic. Here's Gadoka, you know. That's it. This was like a concept thing that popped into my head that I wanted to do. It doesn't mean anything, and I probably won't end up doing anything with this ever, but I doodled it anyways, why not? Here's more stuff with those really old OCs. It's not really important. This is more story concept stuff. It doesn't mean anything. I don't even know that I would fit this in the story or anything like that. I think it's just kind of like a sideline, whatever. This is Hellboy, because Hellboy is my boy. He's my favorite comic character, and, I wanted to draw Hellboy, and I wanted to draw it in the Hellboy comic style, not my style. I've drawn Hellboy in my style, so you can find that on, like, my DeviantArt. But I wanted to draw him in the comic style because I find the comic style for him to be very, like, visually interesting and dynamic. And the inking, like, I wanted to practice the inking from the comic, because the way that it's inked is, like, is very visually interesting to me, and it doesn't make sense to me why it works, but it does work. So I wanted to try it out, and it works. I just don't understand how exactly it works, but it works, so that's it. And then I just slapped colors on it, because why not? So yeah, I did reference this image, so it's not like my original creation or whatever. This is a space filler. It's a Pikachu and a rose. I drew the rose first, and I was like, I'm gonna draw a Pikachu, and I think the Pikachu is cute, but it's just a space filler. this is some semi-realism stuff. I know people think that I just draw that good anime shit, but I actually draw semi-realism from time to time, and it's fun for me. Yeah, so this is a character that I kind of just came up with on the moment, and I kind of like her and might keep her, and so at the moment, her name is Tamara, and she's an alien, so there you go. I use a lot of the sketches from here on are done in Faber-Castell color pencils. They're these color pencils. So they're not like good Faber-Castell, they're Faber-Castell China division color pencils. So like they're just color pencils. Like there's nothing special about them. And they were probably overpriced for what you actually get. I bought them off of Wish and I was going to do a review on them, but I didn't. Because I don't care. I'm not a huge color pencil fan, if I'm gonna be honest. I don't really like working with color pencils a lot. I like the idea of them more than I actually like them. It's just, there's too much strain that gets put on my wrist while working with color pencils, so I just don't do it, because it's like just a lot more effort when you're like trying to fully color something, especially when it comes to like Prismacolors and like probably polychromos too. But yeah, in the back, that's just Crayola marker, so they'll see like a lot of Crayola marker squares and whatnot. But yeah, here's more Tamara. It's like a portrait of Tamara, and like this of Tamara. I don't know what you'd call this. The inspiration for her character was kind of like, you know, if Lara Croft was an alien, is basically like her aesthetic, and kind of yeah. That's kind of my inspiration for creating her, and I think she's cool. I think she's a cool character, and it's interesting. This I really like, and I might make into a pin design, because I kind of like that creepy, cute 90s aesthetic, so yeah, I might go and revisit this and make it into a pin. So we'll see. I really like it. And this was inspired by some Billie Eilish, because I recently found out about her, because everyone was really mad about that Wish You Were Gay song, so I was like, oh, I don't care about this person, and then like one time, and then I was like just scrolling through it, and then she came up and I was like, you know what, maybe I'll just listen a little bit, and I did, and I kind of like her musical style. I think it's interesting, and I like her style aesthetic, so it just kind of inspired this drawing. It's not supposed to look like her, but it was just kind of inspired by her aesthetic. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I kind of like her music a little bit. I haven't listened to a lot of it, but yeah, so that's a new thing for me. This is bad. It's just bad. And that hand, that's a yaoi hand right there. But yeah, so that's bad. And there's a doodle of a cat. That is also bad. And there's this doodle of my doggy. My precious little doggy. I have a chow chow. His name is Pumbaa. And we named him Pumbaa because when we got him as a puppy, he snorted a lot. And he sounded like a pig. So we named him Pumbaa. But he's a cute boy. He's a very cute, fluffy boy. And a lot of people, especially like anime artists, when they go to draw chow chows, they kind of draw chow chows wrong. They draw them like Pomeranians. Chow chows don't look like Pomeranians. If you couldn't tell by this, they're quite a bit bigger than Pomeranians. And they're floofier and thicker and more muscly than Pomeranians. So, you know, just like FYI, guys, just make sure you're looking at Chow Chow references, not pom-pom references. And this is a little comic about my dog, because my dog likes to eat weird things and chew on paper and stuff, and he looks at me like this every time I call him out on his bullshit. So, it's a very funny face, and if you've never seen a Chow Chow make this face, you're really missing out, because it's a gift. But yeah, my boy is very cute, and he likes to eat everything. And this is another character, like a OC that I came up with, kind of to go along with Tamara a bit. And she originally, I just wanted to draw her because I had a thought that I was gonna like draw a character. Let me show you. This was the character that I was thinking about in my head for drawing, and she's like very old. I drew this in 2014, so probably around the same time that I started the sketchbook. But yeah, so like this is like the character I had in my head, and I was like, well, she's really boring, and I don't want to draw her necessarily. I want to draw something else. I wanted to draw a more interesting hairstyle and a more interesting character. So then I kind of just decided to go with this character design, and I really love natural hair texture and like afros and stuff. I think they're so pretty and they frame faces so well, and it's just, oh my gosh, these black women with this luscious hair. You guys are gorgeous. You're the best. And what the fuck is that from? Did I just smudge a pencil? Ew. Gross. But yeah, so y'all beautiful, and I wanted to draw a character that kind of encompassed that beauty, and I really like her, and I named her Amber. And she's very pretty, and she's my precious babe. So yeah, that was the inspiration for that. And this is kind of based off of a joke, I guess. Like, I have a sweater that looks like this, and when I was in the store, my mom was like, if I bought you this sweater, would you wear it? And I was like, yeah, because it's a sweater, but I would like it more if it said hate on it. And my mom's like, quit being an angsty little bitch. That's dumb. I think she actually, like, kind of said that in the store. She was like, that's dumb. But no, I probably would like the sweater more if it said hate on it, because I don't like anybody. I just feel like it would be more representative of me, but this is what I have. So it is what it is. This is kind of like based off of like the drawing of aliens that I see when they're like smoking, and it makes me laugh, so I kind of wanted to draw that. And then I was inspired to do this little parody thing that I'll probably end up making into a sticker because it makes me laugh every time I look at it. This is just story stuff, I guess, just kind of fleshing stuff out. It's Tamara and Amber. Yeah, I mean, it's not really, I don't need to read it or anything, it's not super relevant to you right now. I wanted to draw some really blobby round fish, and I used to have pet Blackmore telescope goldfish, and they were super, super cute and really doofy looking, and I kind of like trying to doodle those because they're the best. I don't think I'd ever own Blackmore goldfish again, but I don't regret owning them. Yeah, but yeah, and I didn't like either of these drawings, so then I was like, I'm gonna draw a cartoon thing, and I didn't like this cartoon drawing, so I just said, thanks, I hate it. You know, mood. And it's just a little doodle of Wirt, because Over the Garden Wall is my jam. This is a little comic thingy that probably, it doesn't really make sense because I didn't know how to exactly capture it, but my dog, he likes to lick my hand sometimes, and dog saliva kind of repulses me, and he has so much saliva, it just coats your hand, and I feel very blessed that he wants to lick me, but at the same time I'm just like, dude, no, you don't have to do that. But there's a Family Guy joke where like Peter was picking his nose, and then he went up to Meg and he like he wiped the booger on her hat and was like, proud of you. So I do that to my dog. Like every time he licks me, I just kind of like I wipe his saliva back on his fur, and I just say, proud of you. So that's the joke. And I wanted to draw a cock here. I mostly just wanted to draw the feathers. I didn't really care about the rest of the bird. I like roosters, but I don't want to own one. My friend owned them, and it was really annoying being woken up at 6:30 a.m. On a Saturday because they wanted to talk. So yeah. Gross waste of the space, but it is what it is. And this is another drawing of Amber. I like drawing semi-realism. I know a lot of people just think that I draw anime stuff, but I do like drawing semi-realism from time to time, and I don't think I've ever drawn semi-realism of a person crying, so that was fun. This is kind of like based off of a scene I had in my head working around. Like I need another story idea to think about, but you know, it is what it is. And I really like this drawing, and I think that she's a lot easier to doodle in green colored pencil. I don't know why, but she seems to I don't know, green just seems to be the color I associate with her, I guess. So yeah, but that's the end. That's the end. I finished it March 14th, 2019, and this page is basically useless because it's glued to the other page, so no point in drawing on it. So there you go. There's the end. There's my sketchbook. There's my favorite sketchbook. We close the book on that one. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed taking a perusal through my really old sketchbook. And yeah, at the time of filming and the time that this is going up, My Kickstarter for the Goo Dakimakuras is going right now, so you guys can, y'all can go and pledge or back or whatever it's called. Just go back my project so that we can make Goo Dakimakuras and y'all can have good goo body pillows and stickers and stuff. So yeah, at the time that is what is going on. Please back my project. It'd mean a lot to me. You can follow me on Twitter. I spend most of my time on Twitter. You can feel free to subscribe to my channel when you want to be updated to all my new videos, and leave a comment because I like hearing from you guys. And let me know if you want to see more sketchbook tours. I mean, I'm probably going to do it anyways, but I want y'all to feel like you have some sort of say in my life. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time, and goodbye.